In this video, I want to talk about one of my favorite topics, which is how to age well. And a lot of the celebrities in Hollywood, they know a lot more than you think. Like, I can't even cover all of them in this video. It would be way too long, and I would like to talk about those things separately in each video, ideally. So, all these people, they have better skin than the average guy my age. They have a better hairline than the average guy my age, and they keep it over time. In your 30s, you should already expect losing soft tissue, losing hair, losing bone mass, and yet you don't see these people losing those traits. Of course, some age better than others. For example, Brad Pitt ages insanely well. Same with Henry Cavill. But yeah, I want to talk about some of the reasons why they age so well. The first one I want to talk about is kind of obvious, which is bone mass. There's a lot of debate when it comes to what's better, pretty boy, masculine Chad, whatever. In the end, if you rely on bone mass, your looks are probably going to have a higher longevity than if you rely on soft tissue. For example, if you see Henry Cavill, like he had a great job back then, and he has a great job now. So he relies on hard tissue that is really hard to decay. Bad examples would be Harry Styles. He relies too much on fat pad distribution, and once he loses that, he's not going to be as appealing. Another bad example for aging would be Sergi. He's considered a pretty boy. He relies way too much on collagen and elastin. Once he loses that, he's going to lose his appeal. But Henry Cavill, his appeal is on hard tissue. He's on bone mass. And this jaw is still going to be there in 10 years, in 20 years. So relying on bone mass instead of soft tissue, like Henry Cavill, like Brad Pitt, for example, is probably a good predictor of aging well. Like, they all have insane jaws, they have high set cheekbones, etc. They have good facial harmony. There's a lot of things that make them attractive. There's a lot of bullet points they can point to as to why they're attractive. But one decent reason why they age so well is because they rely on mainly hard tissue. Soft tissue decays way faster than bone mass does. But that's not the only reason why these people age well. And again, I don't want to cover everything in this video, but I do want to cover a few points. And aside from relying on bones, they also have, of course, great fat distribution. If you look at Brian Johnson, for example, one reason why he didn't age so well is because he lost a ton of fat, and his body fat percentage is too low, in my opinion. There is such a thing as being too low body fat for your looks. So I think ideal range is between 10 and 15%, so around 12% for most people. But depending on your fat pad distribution, some people may look better at 10% and others at 15%. Harry Styles, for example, he may look better at 15% body fat. But yeah, you don't see these people becoming anorexic. You don't see these people going down to 5% body fat. They are at a healthy level of body fat where they don't lose those fat pads that create neoteny. Going below 10% is probably going to be a net negative, especially as you age, because you do need enough fat pads on the face if you want to age relatively well. And finally, of course, I want to talk about collagen and elastin, as well as DHT, because all these people, they have decent hairlines. Henry Cavill, recently he has a little bit of visible hair loss, which does lower his looks. Like, if he was Norwood 1, he would look better. But all these people, they don't have visible hair loss. That's a huge predictor of aging well. Losing your hair just kills your harmony. It's arguably the worst thing you can do if you want to age well, is to lose your hair. You're just going to look way older, and that's arguably even more important than skin. Like, if you have wrinkles and are Norwood 1, you're probably going to look better than someone who doesn't have wrinkles but he's Norwood 7. So not losing hair is, in my opinion, the most important thing when it comes to aging well. And yeah, finally I want to talk about sunscreen. This study has been cited so many times in dermatology, but basically it's a randomized control trial, and the reason it's been cited so commonly in dermatology is because the results were just insane. In 4.5 years, they showed no detectable increase in skin aging in the participants. So if you want to age as slowly as possible, this is one of the most important things. I don't think it's the most important because I do think keeping a Norwood 1 is the most important thing for aging, but I would argue preventing damage from UVB and UVA rays is also by far one of the most important things you can do if you want to age well, and you should do it daily. One of the craziest things about the study is, in this study, if you look at the methodology, basically the control group, they still use sunscreen, but they were told, oh, just use sunscreen when you feel like it, when you think you need it, something like that. So it was just discretionary use. Meanwhile, the actual group that was being controlled, they were forced to use it daily. And in a daily sunscreen group, the aging was 24% slower, and they didn't even find detectable skin aging in the group that was forced to use it daily for 4.5 years. So they checked it microscopically, they didn't find any signs of skin aging. So again, no brainer. You should use it as if you're forced to use it daily, because that's how you're going to get the most results. And most people, they underuse it. You have to use 2 fingers worth of sunscreen. And also, a lot of people don't know how long it lasts. So sunscreen can last 8 hours or more. However, if you sweat or if you go to the water, it may come off. So if that's the case, if you're sweating a lot, etc., then perhaps every 2 hours or something like that. So don't worry too much about it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. These are some of the factors that I wanted to talk about. Bone mass, facial fat pads, keeping collagen and elastin, as well as no detectable signs of hair loss. If you have all these traits, you're probably going to age well. The hardest one to fix, if you don't have it, is the bone mass one. But all the other ones are pretty easy to control. And if you want a place where all the information is condensed into one, you can check out my school community. It's really cheap. I think it's well worth the price, and if you don't like it, you can just ask for the money back and you'll get it. So there's no risk. Join if you want. This is something I really wish I had years ago. And of course, it took me countless hours of going through the research over the years to know what I know. And I just put it all into here, which you can just access for $10. So I think it's well worth the price. So join if you want all the information condensed when it comes to multiple different categories. There's diet, there's hair loss, there's eye area surgery, skincare, etc. There's a bunch of things. Like, I think it's well worth the price. And also, you support the channel. My long-term goal is to make this channel my full-time. So I would like to make a full-time salary eventually with school. And if that does happen, this channel will be my full-time and I'll make videos way more often. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.